Hey Renny, you there?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing all right. It's been another morning of technical glitches.
Well, I think it's going to happen because I think we're using up a lot of bandwidth.
Yeah,
Oh,
Facebook won't cooperate again.
yeah, it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me. So, well, cool. Well, I'll go ahead and start sharing here, get everything set up so okay, let's see. Oh, yeah, it
Oh,
isn't.
I got to make you a co-host. Doing that now.
There you go. I was going to say, hey,
There
it's
you
not
go.
letting me
Forgot that
do it.
step.
You got it. Okay. So let's go back in here. All right, we're going to share. I'm going to pull this up. Make sure, Chris, that you can see my presentation. Can you see my presentation okay?
Yep, we're good to go.
Cool. All right. Well, part of me says not to get my video going today, but part of me says to do it. I got a lot of things I got to look back and forth on this one. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and keep it up slides, guys. Just due to the fact that I'm gonna look at notes quite a bit, and I don't want to keep distracting you guys with me looking away and wondering what the hell am I looking at. So hey, welcome everybody. Good morning. This is probably one of the most important segments that we've done. We've done a lot of great ones, but when it comes to business, is that the business planning session is huge. Now I'm going to recap a little bit of the first session on business plans. So I'm going to go back over it. I've cut it from 3 sessions down to 2, and so this one's going to be a lot of information, a little bit more time maybe, but I think it's going to be worth it. And just considering everything that's going on right now, so we're trying to kind of change the tempo of these meetings. Is we're going to go over to a little more. Not going to ignore what's going on in the world because a lot of research, what I've done, even I've changed up my business plans of what I'm usually doing a little bit just because of the fact that it's a reality. But I want to take and just get back into a good mood. And I want everybody to get back into a good mood. Look, I hope that we're on the backside of this thing, that we're as close as we are far into it, and that we can start taking and thinking about what we're going to be doing and when we're going to be doing it. The reason why I mention this is that this is going to take you some time, especially if you've never written a business plan before, is that you're going to have some time investment into it. And I've got a challenge for those that want to take it serious. If for those that are live, is that if you take and you send me over your business plan in the next week. So right now we're sitting at, so let's make it April 22nd. I'll give it a quick scan through, and you don't need to send me your financials. Keep that out. I don't want to see them. But if you just want me to look at the content and look at kind of like the structure, that's my challenge to you. So those that are listening live right now, is if you're going to take this serious, and it's kind of amazing because some of the points that when we talk to people is we get these huge audiences, and it's really a secondary, thirdary. Really, it's something that's not major in your business. But yet, when we start talking business plans, one of the most important elements within your business, we've got the lowest crowds, and it blows me away that people just don't plan. And it's obvious in today's world of what we've seen down, especially in our industry, in car care, even the dealerships and so forth. Um, People obviously didn't follow a plan. People didn't have an active plan that they are following on a regular basis. It's just obvious. Maybe it was an old plan. Maybe it didn't have contingencies for blowups. I don't think any of us could have a contingency for this, right? But a good plan is going to help you along, especially moving forward, because now you've got this experience underneath your belt with this event or with these kind of events. And if something major comes down again, you're going to be much more prepared, or you should be. And that's part of a plan. And so let's go through this, page 47 to 55 in my book. It's an important chapter, 2 sessions, new versus existing business. We're going to kind of cover that of what you want to do. There's a difference. If you're a very young business, brand new to it, couple, 2, 3, maybe 5 years or younger, is your plan is going to look a little different than your seasoned business. What's within the plan depends on the type. We kind of covered that. If you're going in for bank financing or SBA, you're going to have, matter of fact, if you're going to that level, I would suggest that you go ahead and you have a plan prepared by a professional. It's that tough. And then projections, think ahead, look to the past. Projections are something that's really tough to do. And a lot of people just don't know how to do it. So we're going to get into that a little bit today. So before we do that is I want a little bit of fun. So for my upcoming, we've got a lot of these still going down. Let's say that we've got 2 to 4 weeks, of quarantine still happening. Is send me your picture of you having fun. What defines who you truly are? Tell me the story so I can share it, share who you are and what you're about with others. I really want to see these. I want to include them in my slides. You can send them over to Renny at Detailing Success, and future editions will include that, kind of highlight you as an individual and what you do. So this is me in my environment. At a riper age, I was recruited into the National Guard. I'm a subject matter expert in search and rescue. And if you ask any of my family or anybody that knows me, search and rescue has defined me for over 30 years. The outdoors have, but search and rescue is just, it's been a huge part of my life and my discipline. And it's something I love to do. I love to give back. And I've really enjoyed my 30 years of civilian search and rescue and doing it with the Guard. So that's a little bit of what defines me. Buddy of mine sent me this. This was during a rope training. We're doing over the side safety lines, and you can see a lot of ropes going up over there, and it was a lot of fun, just a lot of fun. I remember the day like it was yesterday, it was a couple of years ago. So with that, now let's go ahead, and I've been saying this every day, is rethink everything that we've got. Now, here's the deal. I'm hearing a lot of the gurus come out inside and outside of the industry. Listen, I'm gonna say this real quick. We've got true leadership is really showing its head in this industry. We've got some people that are honestly standing up to give all of you folks an upper edge when this thing comes out. And one of them, I was just on the phone with Jason Rose. Him and his group and Rupesh have done an outstanding job of really doing a reach out program and just giving opportunity. So I wanted to call him out. I've seen a lot of, Mike Phillips. I've seen Auto Geek. I mean, there's so many people that are doing so many things. I can't obviously name them all. It's the software companies, all of them. I've seen them all over the place. We're going to have Zenware in here. We're supposed to do a show tonight. We're going to put that off until it gets closer to a better time because there's so much good information. Your Abel's been there. I mean, Chris, who am I missing? There's just been so many people stand up. We had
Mobile Tech RX. They put together some nice resources for people on their blog.
Didn't they on there? If you guys haven't been over there, a lot of great resources. So, Bob with Lake Country, we've got Chris with Flex that's coming on later. I mean, so many people that have just really stood up. The Phillips brothers, Keith DePlessis, from PNS Detail Plus. I mean, so many people I can keep mentioning that the leadership has just really, come up and the IDA of what they're doing. I know there's a lot of people criticizing the IDA that they didn't do enough. God, man, come on. What are they supposed to do? They can't pull a rabbit out of that. Now, and a lot of people I've seen, voicing their opinion against them, I've never seen them involved with the IDA until this point. And so I think hopefully those people will kind of calm down and put their hands in the pile and get in there and help us make some adjustments that are badly needed. So, rethink everything. We don't know what's going to come out of this. We don't know how, I was reading a report today on the housing, mortgage situation and so forth. We just don't know where things are going to go, but you've got to prepare and you got to survive. I keep going back to that. And you've got to keep relationships alive. Is maybe your business is shut down. Maybe it's really slow. If you've been able to figure out the PPE thing and keep going, people are spooked right now, is keep those relationships going. That's really important. So let's jump right into this. Sales cycles. A business plan is going to help with this a lot. This upper corner, this is where you want to be. You want to be at that top sweet spot, man, just staying away from that breakwater. A good plan is going to help you, and a well-worked plan will keep you here on the top. Is if you don't have a plan and you're kind of flying by the seat of the pants, you're going to have these upside down sales cycles that are all over the place. You're going to hit the Grand Canyon parts. You're going to hit the rock bottom. You're going to drag against the sand or the rocks, the coral. You're going to get torn up. A lot of times when I hear from people and we preach this within the Detail Mafia nonstop, is that you can't let yourself get to that low point, because when you start calling out for bailouts, it's too late. I mean, you're basically starting over again. And so there's no reason to have these huge sales cycles where you go busy, slow, busy, slow. It just means you're not consistently marketing. And again, it's part of a well-worked plan. So we're going to talk about that. Beat your competition. This is something that, you know, the Mafia, we do it weekly. We hone in our skills. I want to kind of share this screen is we practice. We practice our sales. We practice our pitch. We practice our marketing. We just practice. And so, you know, I showed you a picture of me in the guard it's funny. Something as easy as tying knots is that I tell our soldiers all the time that if you're not practicing, you're not going to remember how to tie knots. And even, you know, setting up a system, a Z-rig, you know, a 3-to-1, a 6-to-1, which is a rope over the side for, you know, leveraging and so forth. If you're not practicing those skill sets, they're going to go away. The same with sales skills, the same with communication skills. It's no difference in business as it is in anything. It's muscle memory. It's practicing. One little hint I love to do is record yourself while you're on the phone. You think you're that good, but when you record yourself, you'll find out you're not. It's worked for me really well. How I plan, this is really important. Review the past to succeed in the future. If you're a brand new business, it's going to be tough, but that's where you want to find the right mentors and so forth. If you're an existing company, you want to look at last year, the year before that. You want to estimate what you're, you know, where were you making your money? You know, how did last year go? Not a guess, real numbers, personal as a company. Were you paying your bills and having excess? Were you able to get through pretty comfortably? Are you investing or are you scraping bottom? You got to be brutally honest and then try to plan your way through that. Try to strategize and just work your ass off. Was I happy last year, both personally and professionally? That's a big question. A lot of people don't ask themselves because I think they don't want to have they don't want to know the answer. I faced that a lot of times, is that I've just ignored it because I knew I wasn't personally or professionally happy because I was stressed out, because I was just, most of the time it's either, you know, I was the sales cycles caught up to me and added a lot of stress. I wasn't able to keep consistent with my marketing. I was overworking, under earning. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen that you got to ask yourself, you know, where you're at, because how can that help you? That can help you moving aside to take and try to take and allow you to plan to put some happiness back into your freaking life and your business. The other thing happens when you have happiness in your life and your business, guess what happens? You attract more people, man. I keep saying it over and over and over again. Happy person, profitable person. Miserable person, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. Review what services made the most profits. A lot of times these people, you know, we got a lot of numbers, you know, around the industry, man. Yeah, I'm doing $2,500 coding. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Yeah, but are they making you money? You know, I had $99 to $150 services that we're killing at over $100 an hour. And sometimes on our real high paint corrections, we weren't able to achieve that hourly rate. Well, why are you going to work harder to not make as much? It just doesn't make sense. Now, sometimes it's the opposite. Those high ones, woo, profit per hour is really good, but it just depends on what you're doing. And you got to keep track of the dollar and cents and the hours. Got to really track it. List out changes. This is huge. List out the changes you desire. What kind of changes do you want? What kind of changes do you want in your business? Do you want to hire a client? You want clients that aren't, maybe your clients are shoppers. Maybe they're cheap. You can plan into that. You can see to the future and start making adjustments where you can get rid of those type of clients in most markets. I won't say in all markets, but most markets. Share, this is huge. Share your findings with mentors, CPAs, partners. If you're unclear on your findings or wish for input, this is massive. I'm really protective over this also, though. I don't go to people that don't know what the hell my business is. And sometimes, believe it or not, your CPA, your accountant, shame on you and them if they don't know what your business is. But, you know, a big mentor from a big business might not understand service businesses. So you got to be really careful of who you get input from. But you got to share it and get some feedback. It's really important that you do that. And then again, what kind of plan do you need and or desire? Are you looking at an SBA? Well, you're probably going to have to go through a professional on that. You know, if you're going to go out and get loans and everything else to build your business up, which I've never been one. I've got lines of credit. Once you get established, those are pretty easy to find. As a matter of fact, my last line of credit I took out last year took me about 65 seconds to get approved on, because we've been around for a long time. You know, when you're new, that might be a little harder thing to do. Not necessarily, but it could be, you know. So just think about that. And then also, if you want to, I love a running plan. I like a plan. Chris and I just adjusted ours. So we put pictures up of some mind mapping that we did. And I like a plan that, man, I can run with. I can take it. It's like when I'm in the field with search and rescue. I've got my map readily available. I got my GPS, my compass readily available. Those are the things that you want to think about. I like a fast moving plan that I can adjust, change and adapt very, very quickly. And I can look at almost daily. I'm in my plan at least once or twice a week. I'm looking at it, reviewing it. I've got it everywhere. I've got it printed out. It's by me right now. It's right by me. I've got it printed out. I've got it on my phone. I've got it on my tablet. I've got it on my computer. It's everywhere. It's printed out. It's everywhere. What I include is this a cool picture? Well, these are two little dogs. My mom's dog on the left, the little light colored one, Minion, that's a rescue. He got almost beat to death. We rescued him. He was broken up pretty bad. Spent a year in a hospital on rehab. We adopted him, but these little dudes were just trucking it up the rocks the other day with our daughter in the background. They just thought they were having so much fun. They love going out on their hike. So here's the deal: is I include a week by week plan with prior year sales and new year sales goals. So I want to take and look right side by side what I did the year and maybe 2 years, have them in a column and in comparative to this year. I want to see what I do, and I pencil in this year's week by week. It's a 52 running week calendar. And I did this, I've done this my entire career. And that way, if I see a blip, well, it might be weather, it might be conditional, like, you know, we're all going to see a blip right now coming up because of what's gone down, right? But we can explain it. It's when I can't explain it. Okay, what's going on? Am I seeing cycles? Is my marketing off? Might tell you that you're not marketing correctly. You're not spending enough money, or not spending enough time, or you're just not doing it. But a week by week is right to the side. How I did last year, not a guess. Real numbers. Don't be, oh yeah, I'm doing good. No, you got to look at it. Your P&L should be right there. Are you doing good? Okay, terrible. Where are you at? Be honest with yourself. That's the biggest thing a lot of times when entrepreneurs, especially young, and when I say young, I don't mean young in age, I mean new to the business, is a lot of times they close one eye and they read their finances because they really don't want to be truthful with it. Was I happy last year, both personally, professionally? Always a question you want to ask yourself. Share your findings, again, with your mentors and so forth, of what you're finding and what kind of plan do you really need. Is, again, if you've never written a plan, ask yourself this: am I going to the bank for anything? If you're not, then you want a running plan. You want something that's easy, 3, 4, 5 pages long. Now, in the background of this is a map. Matter of fact, this is the map of the area that I live in. And I tell it this way all the time, is that, you know, are you going to go out and just drive? These days, we hardly ever use a map when we drive. Matter of fact, a lot of people in search and rescue, military, don't use maps as often. They use the GPSs. I'm comfortable with both, but I still prefer a map and compass, and I'll show that here in a second. This is a system that I call Dream, Vision, Plan, Execute. And so we're going to go over this for a second. Dream, what do you want your life and your business to look like? Do you notice what I let out on? What do you want your life? So many times we're out there building this, what we think is going to be this empire that's going to change our life down the road. And it probably will. If you're dedicated, it probably will. But here's the deal. What about all the living time in between? What are you going to do? Are you just going to work? I see guys all the time. I understand that. You know, work. I work harder than hell. The reason why that I'll come out of this okay, that we'll come out of this okay, is we haven't had a day off since this. Chris and I have not taken a day off since this. Now, we've taken light days, but we have not had one day where we haven't done something. And so you want to tell us that we're not going to come out of this okay? We're working hard. We're also very smart. We've changed. We're adapting as we go. Our business plan's a running business plan. But dream. What do you want out of your life? What do you want out of your business? You know, do you want something that's simple, 100K a year, you know, and just live a good life, enjoy your family, enjoy your time, do a little travel? You want something big? Are you gonna build an empire, multi-stream empire? What I mean by multi-stream, a lot of incomes coming in from different sources, and detailing is just one of them. So that's a time to dream it and envision it, and put all that together, and then plan it. This is where the business plan comes in, and then the execution. Now, I like a running business plan because, again, I can dream, revision, redream, revision, replan, and then execute off of what I redream, revision, replan. And so it's really important that running business plan be there, and you have access to it at all the times, and you really understand it like the back of your hand. It's that familiar. It's that comfortable. Is that you can take and go on the fly. How detailed are your plans and priorities? Ask yourself that. Seriously, how detailed? I'm telling you what mine look like. Are yours that detailed? I'm telling you right now, you're going to learn some things right now. Build a business that supports your life and doesn't drain the life away from you. So many people, it's just a drain. Their business is a drain on them. So map out important dates. This is really important. is personal time. Set dates and share those dates so you keep them. Make a promise to escape, especially if you have family, especially if you have a spouse, especially if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, is you have got to take, and I know as an entrepreneur, raise your hands, say amen, if I just get going so fast, I forget those things. Shame on me. I hate that in me. I hate that trait in me. Now, it's also the trait that helps build me, but it's got to be controlled chaos. You've got to control that side of you. You can't just let it go and run wild. You just can't. You have got to schedule in times and dates. And Chris will tell you that I'm really big into that now. We spent a lot of our time last fall planning that exact thing out in our business plan. Important family dates and events, you've got to put them in there. Vacation, little escapes, doesn't have to be fancy. Fun events for your team. Okay, this is a big one, is that if you're going to build a culture in your company, I don't care if it's you and one other person, you've got to have a culture. You two need to get along. They need to be passionate, especially the smaller you are. Bigger is important too, but smaller, that culture's got to be evident. I like a small company. I like me and 2 or 3 other people. And then I like to sub everything out, all my bookkeeping, have somebody come in once or twice a week, work with my CPA on that stuff, have somebody come in and help with the phones, have somebody come in and help with the invoicing. Those are all easy things that you can outsource if you're very, 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 very small. But you've got to set up culture, and fun events for your team is hugely important. You can't skip those things. You just can't. Industry events and opportunities. You've got to be at industry events. Is I see so many people criticizing so many people, and they're just tearing people apart, or companies apart, or brands apart, or products apart. First off, that's somebody's pride and joy. Second off, who are you? Well, I don't need to go to those events. Yeah, you're right. You don't. You're an a-hole. We don't want you at those events. But if you really want to take and learn, the biggest advantage I've had in any of my businesses is being connected in those industries. Simple as that. You got to plan those out. Mobile Tech, the Southern Detailers Conference, Mafia for us, Mafia weekends in our group, Air Force One in our group, Monterey, a lot of detailers up in Monterey now, SEMA, and then thrown in there too is Mobile Tech Expo, Las Vegas. Page by page look at an effective business plan. Description of the business. A detailed menu and pricing. You've got to take it. I'm telling you, you got more than 3 or 4 things, and then some a la carte things. I've probably got, 15, a dozen to dozen and a half a la carte things that you're going to have to add to it. But keep your menu really, really, really simple. Marketing plan to reach ideal clients. How are you going to do that? Sales plan. What's your sales techniques? What's your pitch? I hate to say it. Oh man, I don't have a pitch. Well, you should. It doesn't need to sound. Matter of fact, you should never. I had a boss never get caught selling. That's what he always used to tell me. So my pitch isn't a pitch. It's a strategy. I'm like a coach, man. I'm coaching a game, soccer, football, baseball. It doesn't matter, because I'm coaching it. And my mentors, my coaches were on the sidelines. When I was a small company as a boxer, they're yelling commands, jab, jab, go to the body, go to the body. That's my sales plan, man. Growth plan from previous years, add-on services plan. A lot of times there's so many services that multiple streams that you can do that we just ignore. Competitive advantages and disadvantages, that should be in there. I'm gonna list those out, my advantages and my disadvantages. And then extensive financial goals. Really going to get into it. This picture right here is pretty cool. This was actually the moon rising over our backyard. Is that cool? That was just last week. So description of the business, define your business, share what you do, really lay it out. Make it to where somebody that's reading your business plan, and this is the fun part, could understand what you're going to do. Somebody that knows nothing about your industry could take and read it and understand what your intent is. What is your intent? Lifestyle or empire building? I'm going to tell you right now, it better be both. I've screwed up. The times I went to just empire building were my most miserable times. The time I really balanced those both out pretty well was happy times and profitable times. What services are you going to offer? New services will you be offered? Set dates to new goals when you intend to achieve those goals, when you intend to offer those services, when you're going to start marketing those services. Detailed menu pricing is this is where you upload your menu. This is where you put your menu in here. You sign last year's income per projected profits per hour, per week, per month. And I do that all the way down on every service that we offer. I knew what our profit points were on a stage 1, 2, and 3 interior, and what our profit points for a stage 1, 2, and 3 exterior were. I knew what our profit points were for a 1 year, a 2 year, a 3 year, 5 year coatings. And you'll be shocked when you take and start watching the numbers at that point of what you're making and what you're not making, what things are not making it for you. Now, is it a lot of work to do that? Absolutely. But you know what you got right now? You've got the time to put those in. It can be simple. You don't have to go through computer stuff. I would, but you don't have to. If you don't know how to use spreadsheets, then don't do it. Do it by hand. Write down every service you offer, what the price point is, keep track of the hours that it takes you, divide that into the profits. That will tell you how much you made per hour, and then figure out your product cost for that. Minus that out of that, there you go. Minus it out at the beginning, then divide it by the hours you did, and you've got how much your profits were minus all the products. Something as simple as that, but you can see exactly your roadmap of what services you're making money at and not make. And I think you'll be shocked to find out some of the simpler services you can make some serious dough at. The other thing I like about that is that allows me to hire on people that are a little less skilled, meaning I can bring people in and train them my way. They don't need any experience. And within a week, I have them up and running on those services. And it's a force multiplier. I just multiplied myself by 1 or 2 or 3 people. What's that do? Well, let's say I'm paying them pretty good, 20, 25 bucks an hour. I know it sounds crazy, but in this day and age, just 2 months ago, it's hard to find people. You got to pay to play. So here's the deal is that sounds like a lot of money. So with taxes and everything, say I'm paying somebody $20 an hour. By the time I give them benefits, all their taxes, everything else, you're up to close to $30 an hour right there. Hey, if they're bringing in $100 an hour, who cares? Who cares? Treat them right, man. Send them on vacations. Give them treats. Give them days off. Give them 2 weeks paid vacation. They're going to make a lot of money for you. Don't look at it the wrong way. Now, a marketing plan. So you got your menu in here. You got to do it. And I'm moving pretty quickly. Usually I spend a lot more time on these things, but we got a limited amount of time. So I go over from putting my menu in. Now, how am I going to market each one of those services? Because believe it or not, don't market your business. Market services. You can market your business too. I'm not saying not market your business, but market services as you do each one of them, because it's going to, the price point, the service itself, what it includes, it's going to resonate with people. And it's easier to micro market at a very affordable rate on exact services than it is just your company at large. Get people through your marketing to start understanding what you offer, how you would reach the ideal clients, your online efforts explain, your offline efforts explain. Let's stop right there. What's offline efforts? Your relationship building. Let me tell you, online's easy. You should put that on cruise control. It shouldn't, I won't say it's easy, but it doesn't take that much time. Your offline efforts, it's got the highest amount of return. It's going to take the most amount of time in the beginning, but I'm telling you what, that's the difference between, there's where we came into a market and people didn't have real good offline marketing efforts. That's where we slayed them. That's where we killed them. That's where we became number one. That's where we went from the new guys to the number one guys in a year or two. Your localized efforts, and I'm going to take and talk localized. Stop freaking advertising to other detailers and stop advertising to the whole damn world. Go on, if you want to be famous within detailing, good, go do it. But make yourself famous locally first. So many of you guys you're doing it the wrong way. Go in and make yourself the guru locally. Then move out a little more regionally. Then move out to your whole damn state. Then start looking at the national opportunities, international opportunities. But concentrate on who's going to pay your bills locally first. So your shows, events, where can you go? Line that out in your marketing plan. Meetings and memberships. What groups can I join? What memberships can I gain? Those are all tax write-offs, by the way. Where can I go to mingle with like-minded people and or business people and or car people? And then new efforts for the year. What am I going to change up? What can I do that I didn't do last year? Always ask yourself, what can I do that I didn't do last year? What can I do that I didn't do last month? What can I do that I didn't do last week? If it was a bad week last week, what did I not do? What did I do and not do? Always ask yourself that. And then budget. What's your budget for this marketing plan? Have a week-to-week budget, man. I'm telling you, with online efforts, it's pretty cheap. If you pinpoint market, if you sniper market this thing, it's pretty cheap, really cheap. Especially right now, there's so many advantages in our market right now to advertising. Your biggest thing, your biggest expense is going to be your time locally. But I'll tell you what, those deep rooted relationships that's what's going to turn you into a blue collar empire right there. Is those offline membership, offline relationships. That's your success for many, many years to come. But you got to budget all that out. What's your sales plan? How are you going to connect with ideal clients? Your pitch on the phone, your pitch in person. Again, one of the things that you need to do is record yourself. How are you presenting? What's your look? Do you stink? Do you look like a detailer? Because when I'm getting somebody that's going to go in my cars, whether it's a mechanic or anything else, the last thing I want from them, they better not look like a mechanic. They better not smell like one. Their hands are all gunked up and torn up. Man, you ain't getting my cars. So if the standard practice for detailing, you look like a detailer, you ain't getting my business. You want to take and you want to excel, look clean, look sharp, you know, and have a style about yourself. Whatever your style is, go with it, man. We've got, you know, Ian Redbeard Detailing. Oh my God. I mean, that's his branding. It's everything else. He kills it. It is who he is. And people just love him. We got a lot of guys like that I can mention that have just worked their personality into their business, and it's worked awesome. So what's your pitch in person? How are you going to talk with people? How are you going to take? And there's a very, very, both of those, it's something that we practice the most on. We put more work into those two areas than anything else, even our skill wise. Our skill wise, man, if you're not getting better every day that you got a tool in your hand or you're doing an interior, that's practice. Is let's face it, it's work, but you should be getting better and better. That's the hard things is that your pitch and your talking, your communications with people. You need to be getting better there too. And the only way you're going to do it is really to take and record yourself, believe it or not. Everything in our shops were recorded. I go back and look at the way that our staff and coach them on, hey man, this was kind of a rub, you know, when you go into this. Connectability is really important when you're going to take and talk with people. And you say, oh man, I don't sell. I don't need to sell. Bullshit. Everybody sells. Everybody does. Everybody sells. You got to sell yourself. You got to sell every time. If you think you're not, you're fooling yourself. Everybody that owns a business is a salesperson. Now your support materials on your sales side. What's your email support materials? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna get software? There's a lot of great software. Does that software support emails, texting, and all that? And it is gonna tracking. Is it a CRM? Do you have to have a separate customer relationship management software system to track that? That's all part of your sales plan. We used to break them up into three categories. Prospects, or excuse me, suspects, people that we suspect could use our services. Prospects, people we've talked to but yet haven't been customers or clients, and then clients. So people we thought would do business with us if we could get to them, people that we talked to but yet haven't done business with us, and then clients that have given us their money. Growth plan from previous years. This is really huge, is that the biggest thing that we do is a lot of people, we talked about this with the software companies, our biggest marketing effort that we do in our growth is to our existing client base. Is naturally we're going after new clients, but there was a period in my businesses that we couldn't take in new clients. We just didn't have the room. We did a great job of marketing back to our existing clients. We weren't taking on new clients. And people say, wow, you should have got bigger. We couldn't. Is our services, and I won't say they're so high end, they're high end for the time, but the connection, the relationship, we didn't need to. I hate to say it. Our growth was we were growing financially still. Matter of fact, we're growing financially faster than trying to obtain new customers. Now, if we got a good referral and they're going to come into a membership type program, we took them, but they had to fit into our system. We just didn't take entry level customers for a long while. So you need to identify your most profitable service. Build a menu based on that financial data. Do you think that In-N-Out Burger, Chick-fil-A, any of the restaurants just offer their number one, number two, number three? Have you ever noticed that the other items on the menu kind of get lost, shuffled down? Well, because they know popularity, it's ease of sale and profitability. And so you need to build your menu the same way. Take it from the giants. Is learn that. Again, a week by week plan. As I always do that in my sales, and then add items such as memberships, gift cards, new services, fleet accounts that you can add in. You can make money on all of those if they're sold right, if they're marketed right. Add-on services, highlight each new add-on service and projected sales. I like a weekly sheet for this, showing the goals, and then explain the projected P&L of each of these add-on services. Maybe you're going to take on and put paint protection film in. Maybe you're going to do rock chip. Maybe you're new, maybe you're mobile and you need to add on some service. God, what can I add on? Rock chip repair, man. Convertible top care. Get rag top, man, for convertible tops. I mean, they go to their website. You sell that you're selling their products. Bam. I mean, Rick's done a great job with that. Dr. Color chip for rock chips, man. Add that in, and it's easy. Coatings. I mean, it's all over the place. Coat things. I mean, there's just a ton of things that you can get into. Glassparency. I mean, just keep on adding to it. Maybe you don't sell a lot, but at the end of the year, it could be several $1,000s on each of those. And that's into your pocket, high income. Competitive advantages. This is where some of the recon on your competitors plays out. State your weakness and why. Why do you want to state your weakness? I want to go into my competitors and look what they're really doing strong. What are they doing? And a lot of times it's something that I'm weak at. The hardest thing to beat is relationships. One of the gentlemen that bought one of our locations out, he tried to put me out. He was a multi-millionaire. I was a pretty young dude at the time. He bought us out. He told me the night we signed papers, he took us out to a nice steak dinner, and we celebrated, had a glass of wine, had a good cigar, and he told me we were sitting on the patio, I tried everything in my power to put you out of business instead of buying you. And I couldn't do it because of the depth of the relationships you had. So if you think offline marketing doesn't work, you're wrong. State what your local competition is doing better than you and how you plan on beating that edge. What are you going to do? If only one thing they do better is cheaper prices or crappier quality, I'm going to the top. I'm gonna be the most expensive dude and just kill them on customer service and quality. Kill them. I never went into a market mid-priced or even meeting people. I went in at the top level. The most expensive person met their price or went above it. Most time went above it. List goals for making the purchasing experience over the top. When people do business with you, my dentist experience, let me tell you, I got, like many of us, a phobia of dentists, but I had a really bad situation growing up where I did pretty poor. I had a dentist that would drill out teeth with no Novocaine. And since we were on welfare, he had charged the state for the Novocaine and just not give it to us. And so I've got a serious fear of dentists. My dentist, I walked in and he just did a great job of reassuring that I wasn't going to feel a thing. And he said, Renny, he says, we're going to fix your teeth up good. They're going to look great. They're going to be healthy. You're going to keep your teeth for life. And at any time you feel anything, you just let me know. We'll take care of it. And you know what, man? I went from hating the dentist to where when I go to the dentist anymore, it's just not a big deal. But would I switch dentist? Nope. First off, when I walk in there, they know my name. Second off, it's really clean. Third off, they're all really clean. Fourth off, they're really nice. Fifth off, they remember I have kids and dogs and my business and military. They remember things about me. Now, it's probably on their CRM. They're probably pulling that up right before the appointment, and they probably brief everybody. They might even print outs that morning and do intel. That I don't care. They stroke me. They make me feel good. They pet me as a customer. And a lot of people don't understand that. What are you going to do? What's your red carpet service, man? What's going to make you stand out? Extensive financial goals. The past. You got to show the past. State your weaknesses and why they're weaknesses in the past. State what local competition is doing price-wise and how you plan on defeating that. Include the P&L from 2019. Make sure that it's right in front of you all the time. I have out all my profit sources and proposed goals in front of me at any given time. Over and over, I'm repeating this. You see a habit forming? I list out my weekly goals. I micromanage my shop's financials. I'm in my books every day. I get reports. I have everything at my fingertips at all times. And then again, hear this rowdy bunch here. Reach out to your mentors. Have them review your plan. I just offered you, in the next 7 days, if you send it to me, I'll give you a quick, 100,000 foot rollover, see what it looks like, give you some input on it, tell you some changes. I'll do that for you within the next week, by April 22nd, 2020. So if it's to me by then, this video is going to age. Anything after that, Watch for another one. And if I offer to, we usually offer this a couple times a year. We'll do it again then. And then SCORE, your local SCORE office. These are retired executives. It's a great resource. Sometimes they don't understand small business, so you got to watch out who you get involved in there. But most of my experiences with SCORE has been really, 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 really good. And so that's another great source for you guys to go at. Check out the SBA site. The SBA site's got a lot of good information on it. And then Google sample plans. Simple as that, man. Just if you don't know where to go, just Google out some plans. And then I micro mine down. I dumb mine down. Mine's plain English, ready to go. It's like we tell our soldiers when we go out on civilian search and rescue. Civilian talk. It's none of the Alpha Bravo Delta Charlie. Just drop all that shit. Just talk. You want the same thing in your day-to-day running business plan, just plain English so you can understand it. And again, I get somebody that's business savvy that doesn't understand my industry to take a good look at it. Business plan review every 1 to 3 months. You have got to adapt this thing every 1 to 3 months. Really, right now, holy crap. I think our plan's been adapted every week since all this stuff happened. If you're watching this aged, if it's a little older, we're talking about the coronavirus, which I even hate mentioning that shit now. I'm just burned out on it. But is that we've had to adapt our plans because so much changes so quickly right now, And so we're looking at it really weekly until this thing pops back. And even then, it's gonna change. We're gonna change the world. We don't know what those changes are gonna look at. Anybody that tells you they do is they're full of crap. I can tell you this: baseline for business is gonna be the same. The baseline is gonna be the same. Work your ass off. Work your plan. Have a good plan. Work it. Work smart. Build relationships. Don't kill yourself working. Simple as that. All right. So Chris, we have any? I got through that. My goal was 40 minutes. Look what I did. I did it in 40 minutes. So Chris, do we have any questions?
I don't have any questions yet. You guys that are live on Zoom, you can go ahead and type them in the chat. I did get us live streaming on YouTube, and so we've got a handful of people there.
Cool.
They can go ahead and type some in the chat there too.
We got Tim Jones makes a couple of good points, and then I got Mark Nelson. So Tim, by all means, hire a CPA that you trust. Yeah, you're married to one, so Tim is a good friend of mine. I can't tell you, your CPA should be your best friend in business. Everybody, hey, what do you look for in an attorney? Man, I hardly ever need an attorney. I got a friend of mine that's a really great attorney. If I need something to go to, but it's so rarely, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just so rare that I do. CPA, you're going to need a CPA every week, 52 times a I can't tell you the importance of a CPA. So Tim, thanks for saying that. And exactly the knowledge they bring to you and the help, and go to them before you make decisions. A lot of times, that's probably my biggest weakness is that I pull a trigger on something and don't think of the tax benefits or downsides to it. So Mark Nelson, he doesn't even know where to start to have a plan. I've never made one. I'm trying to learn more about how to successfully run a detailing business. Help. Mark, we'll probably, with you being Mafia, we'll go through this. Should help you a lot right now of laying it out. And again, maybe what we'll try to do, Chris, in the next coming week or two is put somewhere up on a sample business plan.
We could stand to do that. We did do a webinar on business plans actually not too long ago, Mark, so you might have missed it. So you can look for that on our private forum.
Yeah, so great resources there. So Chris, anything else over on the chat side of things?
Nothing right now.
Cool. Well, I wanted to get through it. I wanted to be under the hour mark for you guys, and I hope this helped you out. If you have any questions, again, if you want to take and get a plan together, there's a lot of great samples. Even in the book, I just tell you what to lay out. If you can go buy a hard copy, I make like 49 cents, so I'm not selling you on it. It's definitely not a sell. You can get the electronic version of the book for like $8, where I make like 3 cents. So it's not a profit point for me. I'm not doing that. I'm going to run through the book anyway. But there's a lot of great free stuff you can go and find. I'd go over to the SCORE site. But again, a lot of them are going to have the SBA level, really in-depth business plan. Mine's in depth, but it just doesn't go into stuff that I can't read quickly. I want to be able to go over my business plan, read it, and reevaluate it in like 5 minutes. And so it's pretty cut and dry, if that makes sense. So Okay, well, it looks like anything else, Chris, that we can go to?
Not at the moment. Do you want to let these guys know our plans for Friday?
Yeah, real quick. Somebody asked, where do I send our plan to get a real a overview? Send that to Renny. It's RENNY at detailingsuccess.com. You can send it there, and we'll take and look over it for you. With time, how would it sell your business if someone is asking to buy it? Uni, I'm not sure if I understand that. Let me type that in. It looks like if you're asking if somebody is asking to buy your business, it comes down to this. You've got to take and, boy, I'll tell you, your record keeping. You got to be able to take, and it's going to be based off of, depending on, I know your guys' business, the valuation. You could have it professionally evaluated. Basically, it's kind of like having a appraiser come out to your house and appraise the value of your house. They'll look at it, but it's going to, it's going to come down to what your sales, what your profit points were, how good your books were, how good if you've kept really good track of who your customers are. That's why software is so important, because they're buying your business, but what they're buying too is your customer list and the future sales and profits from your business, And so good record keeping and so forth is it depends on the type of business. Yours is probably going to go I can't even really go into it, because right now I don't want to get stuck out there liability wise of saying how to value it. Basically, in our service businesses, we took the profits. A lot of people say the gross. We took the net times anywhere from 3 to 5 was the value of the company, and so so it just depends on what it is. Okay. Let's see here. Stephen, good. I'm glad you're going to update it. Mark, you bet. Yeah, exactly. Right now, a lot of people are saying, hey, William Lara does a lot of marketing and saying this is a great time to do some marketing. The prices are down. You can get a lot of advantages with Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. And then lastly, where'd that one go real quick? I think right now it's a good time to build a plan. And you might say you don't know where to even start. Is go back what we just went through and just put a sales plan, a marketing plan, your financing, together, overview of the company. I love to have a nice mission statement, put all that together, your competition, review your competition, marketing. On the big plans, you're going to have a market analysis, basically reviewing my competition. That's what a market analysis is. I like to find out what my population of our service cities are. About roughly 1 to 2% of the population, driving population, is going to be open to detailing. So it's a pretty small percentage, but if you can get it up to 2%, you'd have more business than you could ever do in 100 years. And so there's a lot of big things you can throw in there, projection wise, market analysis wise. What's the market look like? What's the disposable cash? All those things you can find. Also, what your service area is. If you're in Southern California, you reality wise, you want a pretty small service area. Is that, especially when you're first starting out, until you build your reputation up. You might go out further, you might draw from further, but it's going to take you some reputation building before you can do that. So the last thing you want to do is sit your life on the freeway, and not go anywhere and not make any money. When you're sitting on the freeway, you're not making money. So Chris just put up that you can, both of our emails, Renny at detailingsuccess.com and Chris at detailingsuccess.com. So send that over our way. So Chris, anything else? I'm going to wrap her up.
That's all I got for right now.
Cool. Well, I wanted to give you guys a lot of information short. I wanted to respect your time. Send me over some fun picture what you guys like to do. You and I've been seeing your husband, Carlos, on that mountain bike. So, tell him to send us over a picture of him on that mountain bike and tell us where he's at and having some fun. So make sure that you guys do that. Send us over something fun. Send us over that in the next week. Send us over the business plans. We'll take a good look at it, get a good eye on it, give you some feedback there. And I hope you have a blessed rest of the week. Make it productive. It's a great time. You've got a couple weeks to build a plan. And if you really want to see your business blossom, if you follow that plan, you work the plan, it's going to be worth every penny and every minute that you spend on it. So happy detailing all. Take care. Be blessed. Stay safe. And we'll talk to you soon.